Jose with Oakland Latinos United, aka Oakland Latinos Unidos, on here with a new video for you guys to enjoy. Well, the video I'm going to make today, the spill I'm going to make today, is about a gang war situation that has been happening, I guess, in the Bay Area with in the East Bay with rival gangs from the Guatemalan community here in Oakland and Richmond. And I don't really talk on current events when it comes to gang things. I talk on it more on a historical perspective when I do talk on it, mostly on my own personal experience. And so this is more of a current event. And before people try to say, oh, why are you speaking on current things? This is a public information. You know what I mean? I'm getting this from public information. This is from the San Jose Mercury News. Also, the East Bay Times had it by Nate Gertrell, news reporter. So, you want to complain to the newspaper. Don't complain to me. I'm just reading what I seen in the newspaper. So I was reading as I always do, I was reading the local newspaper, and I stumbled upon this story. Looks like there was an arrest made by a woman who was lured into the Oakland Hills and murdered by Sureño gang members. And it looks like the murder is connected to a triple homicide that happened in Richmond last year, which I actually made a video about, and I'll leave a link to it in the bottom, and I'll also leave a link to the story as well, so you can see that it's public information. But looks like there was a homicide done and an arrest, and it looks like there were several people that were arrested. And partly it was due to that triple homicide, and it was also due to other homicides that happened around Richmond, Oakland, and even Stockton. Now, according to this, it says that there was an execution style of 31-year-old Carolina Carrillo Mendoza, and her ex-boyfriend Matias Mendoza, 21, had been arrested at a nearby liquor store. Originally, they thought it was a domestic violence thing, but detectives found out that her murder was because she had information, or they believe she had information on the triple homicide that had happened in Richmond a year earlier. Said that she had been killed in the 7800 block of Redwood Road, which is in the Oakland Hills, if you're familiar with the Oakland Hills area. And looks like her boyfriend, Matias Mendoza, was arrested. Now, according to this, it says right here, meanwhile, police in Richmond were investigating an incident at a large house party on June 20th, 2021, where Andres Morales Garcia, Rudy Godinez Aguilar, and Hector Rigoberto Carrillo Reeves were killed. 6 others were injured in the mass shooting. Richmond police lacked translation needed to interview partygoers with witnesses, many whom spoke Mam, and months went by with no arrests. Basically, what that means is that lately, if any of you live in this area, you might have noticed that there has been a large Guatemalan presence growing in Oakland, especially Oakland, but I'm starting to see it also in Contra Costa County. And for the most part, the people that are coming are indigenous Guatemalans. They come from the Mayan community, and for the most part, they speak Mam, which is one of their native dialect or native languages, Mayan languages. And I'll speak a little bit more on that, but a lot of folks that come, they come from very rural areas of Guatemala, and they don't even really speak Spanish. They speak it very, very limited. They speak more of their traditional language, which is a good thing. It's always beautiful to preserve your natural language. So, right here it says, Enriquez Ramirez Calmao, 28, an alleged gang member from SSL 502. Now, I know what SSL is because they've been around since I was a youngster. SSL is Southside Locals, which is a Sureño gang from Oakland. But apparently it looks like maybe a subset has been formed of Guatemalan, because 502 is the area code Guatemala. I think 503, I think is El Salvador. I think 504 is Honduras, and so forth. And it looks like Enrique Ramirez Calmau, 29, alleged member of SSL 502 member, was arrested in connection with the triple homicide. He then alleged offered up information about the Carrillo Mendoza killing, implicating other alleged gang members, 18-year-old Giovanni Garcia Jacinto, according to investigation. Ramirez told police Garcia Jacinto took the pistol from a man who hesitated and fired shots between Carrillo Mendoza's eyes, an account later backed by confidential informants, according to Garcia Jacinto, 17, at Alameda County. So it looks like a mass arrest was made because a lot of guys turned on each other, like always, and police were really investigating this because it was a triple homicide, and there was other homicides that were linked to it as well. Now, according to this, it says that the rival gang, and one of the people who got killed says that it says prosecutors allege that both Garcia Jacinto and Ramirez Calmo traveled to the party like the Father's Day, which is the Richmond one, with the intent to murder rival M218 Norteños. Now, I don't know what M218 Norteños are. It must be some new clique, maybe a new gang. And both men fired at the crowd party at 2100 block of Dunn Ave in Richmond, a block away from 23rd. So that's the shooting again. They allegedly returned to Oakland afterwards, sold the car used in the shooting to pick it up 2 days later, but still processed one of the homemade pistols a month after the shooting. So it looks like this M218 Norteños is fighting with the 502 SSL. And according to this newspaper report, both of these gangs are predominantly Guatemalan gangs. Now, back to what I was saying, the Guatemalan community has been growing in Oakland, at least in the last 10 years, because I can tell you when I was growing up, and you could ask any old Oakland person on here, I don't remember seeing very many Guatemalans when I was growing up. If there was a few. There were barely even Salvadorians and Hondurans and other Central Americans. When I was growing up, it was mostly Mexicanos, people from Michoacan, people from Durango, people from Jalisco, you know what I mean? Chicanos, there were some Puerto Ricans. And then slowly you started getting the Salvadorians, the Hondurans, and other Central Americans coming in. And like I said, in the last 10, 15 years, you've seen a growing Guatemalan community, especially around Fruitvale. Fruitvale now is starting to look like little Guatemala more than little Chicanoville or little Mexico, like it was when I was growing up. But either way, they are raza, you know what I mean? They're indigenous raza, and many of them, like I said, they come from rural areas of Guatemala, and many don't speak Spanish very well. They speak their Mayan dialect, which is Mam, but there's others like Quiche, I think, or Quechua, I believe, and there's quite a few, you know what I mean? Their Spanish is limited in some ways. Not all of them, but a lot of them, you know what I mean? And there is kind of a disconnect between the older Mexican community that speaks mostly all Spanish and this new community that's growing, you know, and because of that language barrier, unfortunately. But in time, that probably will change, because I see more and more Guatemalans that don't speak much Spanish learning more and more with us out here, you know what I mean? Sometimes it's because of survival. You have to learn how to speak English and Spanish to survive out here, you know what I mean? That's how it is. But there's nothing wrong with them speaking their native language. I think that's a beautiful thing, you know what I mean? To me, we lost our native languages. That's why we speak Spanish and English, which are European languages, you know. But going back to what I was going to say, every time there's a new immigrant group to the United States, unfortunately, those groups are going to fall into criminal activity sometimes. It happened with our families. It happened with the previous generations of Chicanos and Mexicanos. And, they're going through it, I'm sure. I had no idea they had Guatemalan gangs in Oakland. You know what I mean? They were specifically Guatemalan, according to this report. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. I'm not in the game like that anymore, so I don't know. But yeah, it's pretty unfortunate that these Guatemalan folks, these indigenous folks, are killing each other over Chicano gang beefs. Because let's keep it real, Norte and Sur is more of a Chicano Mexican thing. You know what I mean? Let's be 100%. You feel me? But you know, they come to this country, and I guess they're gonna adopt what the bigger culture has in store for them. And the bigger culture here is Mexican culture, Chicano culture, and African American culture, and that's what they're gonna see. You feel me? But yeah, man, it's unfortunate. Anytime these kind of things happen, you know me, I don't like to see raza kill each other or destroy each other over bullshit. And you know, hopefully these Guatemalan folks that are into this gang stuff get it together, man, and see that this is only going to take them to jail or death, you know, and it's better to work or go to school or do what you got to do to come up ahead instead of getting caught up in gang politics. And that's all I really got to say. Leave a comment. Let me know what you think of the video. And yeah, man, keep it moving. And let's get to know our Guatemalan neighbors, even if they're indigenous folks that can't speak Spanish as well. Some of them, you know, I'm not going to say all of them. I know there's a language barrier, but let's get to know them, man, and let's make them feel at home, and let's welcome them to the community. That's all I could really say. All right, this is Jose, Oakland Latinos United, over and out.